celebrating. Man, some stuff that's coming down through the court system. Finally, we're getting seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, you might say. So many things that have been going on that people have been complaining about. They felt like their constitutional rights are being walked all over. Well, we're going to cover a few of those things in the news today. Today, some great news came down the pike, but what I want to do first is back up and talk about what happened in Texas. You know, Governor Abbott signed a law back in September prohibiting social media giants from banning users based on their political views and requiring them to produce regular reports. This is to the government, you know, regular reports, and also disclose how their content and stuff, you know, whatever their regulatory procedures were. And this is all according to the Texan Tribune, by the way, even though we found this article on Gateway Pundit. So everybody gets credit here. But the news on this is the court has decided to reinstate the law for now, while they iron out some other things, so it becomes law immediately. And watch this clip. Of course, this was before this ruling came out, but it kind of gives you an idea. And remember, this is mainstream media talking about this.
Well, don't mess with Texas. That's the message tonight from Governor Greg Abbott. He has introduced a new social media censorship bill.
Abbott, along with East Texas Senator Brian Hughes, are proposing legislation to ban social media platforms from censoring Texans online. Take a listen.
We see that the First Amendment is under assault by these social media companies, and that is not going to be tolerated in Texas. Amen.
Conservatives in Texas have grown increasingly frustrated with social media companies in the wake of the presidential election.
So if passed, what would this bill do? Effectively, it would allow any Texan who believes that they have been canceled, censored, or deplatformed to file a lawsuit against companies like Twitter or Facebook.
One of those is a social media anti-censorship law that's facing a lawsuit from trade companies that represent Google and Facebook. Those companies say it'll leave users vulnerable to harmful and inaccurate information. KVU's Darrenisha Heron spoke with a disinformation expert about the wide-ranging impact this could have. Good evening, Darrenisha.
Good evening, Jake. Not only is this disinformation expert concerned about protecting the rights of private companies, but the spread of misinformation as well.
You're kidding me.
Some of Texas's new laws have been met with lawsuits, and House Bill 20 barring big social media companies from banning users based on their political viewpoints is one of them. Disinformation expert and UT professor Samuel Woolley said the law could have a bad ripple effect.
These companies can control your speech. They're private entities, and they have to be treated as such. Otherwise, we risk getting on a slippery slope where we start telling people in their businesses that they can't say certain political things in their businesses.
That's why two technology trade groups that represent Google, Twitter, and Facebook filed a lawsuit asking the federal judge to block the Republican-led law.
Remember earlier, before I showed this video, I said that this is mainstream, like woke media. Well, you can tell they're biased during their reporting. But what I wanted to point out is that guy right there at the end. You notice how he was talking about being able to protect the rights of the company. And, you know, when I think about it, I think the company is a group of people that have come together to create some kind of business or whatever. Sure, it's private, but it's not an individual. It's not a person. So the way I look at it, the individual rights and liberties are they far outweigh the company's rights and so forth, because that's just an assumed thing. It's the Constitution was written for people, not companies. Anyway, that being said, so that brings us up to the next great thing, is what happened today. And today, you remember Pastor Tony Spell? You know, he got in trouble for holding church at his church, and he claimed that his freedom of religion was being violated. And of course, he, was being taken to court, and he went to court, and lo and behold, what was it, the 5th District Court? Let me see, let me find it here. See, the Louisiana Supreme Court sided today in favor of Pastor Tony Spell, who continues to hold church services in defiance of Dr. Tony Fauci, of course, and Governor John Bell Edwards during the COVID pandemic in the spring of 2020. So I thought that was really, really, this is like finally something that's happening and it's going to stick. This sets precedents. So it may be great for Mr. Spell, but it's great for us, because in this judgment holds the fundamentals of our constitutional rights being taken away from us. So they not only ruled that all charges to be dropped on Pastor Spell, but it's just the fact that they imposed this and totally ignored the constitutional rights of any person here in the United States. So here you go. This will set precedents, and I'm ready for more stuff like this to happen, aren't you? Remember, guys, to like, share, and subscribe. And I do know I haven't been out there much lately because doing work, and I've been out on the road traveling, and of course I got to see some other creators while I was out on the road, and so it was a really fun trip. And I just encourage you guys to continue to support our channels, and make sure you click the like buttons, hit the notification so you know when something new comes out, and we'll see you on the next one.